So it's the Nissan Leaf. This is
the
Nicholas
Nissan
Butler.
Leaf.
Hello, Nicholas Butler.
Hello, Andy. We know each other.
Yeah, we do.
This is Nissan Leaf, and Nissan are running an opportunity to take one of these away for 24 hours.
Okay.
They take away a Nissan Leaf for 24 hours. We're going to take it away for a couple of hours because I haven't got time to drop back tomorrow.
Let's get in.
It has those weird contactless issues, but it doesn't require you to be doing any sort of insertion of.
The camera may go shaky while I'm doing my seatbelt up.
Tell you what, hold on to that like that, because look, we've got this unusual sort of design here.
Yeah.
That you can, it's very wide. They've gone for lots and lots of let's give you light. Although there's none above, we don't have a sunroof. So to get started, just need your keys in the car.
Yeah.
Don't need them in the ignition.
Wow.
Put your foot on the brake.
Yeah.
Okay. Gets a bit Windows 7 at this point.
We love it.
Plinky plinky, plonky plonk.
Does it say operating system not loaded now?
So it's just booting the operating system, getting the battery ready. GPS, sat nav, Bluetooth, all the toys. Speed up here, power and information down here. It's an automatic, so you can pop yourself into drive.
Yeah.
And that gives, at the moment I've got 66 miles radius. Pop into drive again, I get into eco, I get 62 miles radius. So what we'll do is we'll stick it in drive for the moment.
Yeah.
Forward.
Yeah, you're good. The cyclist, but don't worry, you can see us. Just go for
Well,
it.
the cyclist can observe the fact that I'm pulling out.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Friendly smile there from the lady cyclist.
And that's it. Now we're driving.
It's quiet.
There's no engine noise. In fact, if I put my foot down,
Ooh. Ooh.
no engine noise. Wake Andy up a bit. Right, I don't know which way I'm going, so I'm going to go
Just go
left
around.
here.
Just go around here.
Let's go around here. I want to get back down the seafront and maybe head up to the downs.
Okay, go around here. I'll take you down
Go
the scenic route.
left.
Up here, round, follow the road round.
And put around. So
Oh,
we'll go up
acceleration's
and
good on this. This is my Volvo in the dust.
around. This does 0 to 40 quicker than a Porsche Boxster.
Does it really?
And I've had the experience now, sat at the traffic lights with a pushy Merc driver
Yeah.
who'd been right at the back of my car, and I could see, I actually switched on the reverse lights,
Yeah.
which shocked him a little bit, but I still could see how close he was.
Yeah.
Is he going to let me through here? It's good stuff, thank you.
Bus.
Stay straight on?
Yeah, just wait at the lights.
Well, obviously.
Yeah. In your own time, Mr.
So,
Butler.
having sat at the traffic lights with this pushy Merc driver who was on my tail all the way, as soon as the lights went green, I just put my foot on the floor and this thing just shot away.
Yeah.
And he was still struggling to make a move off the mark.
He was probably
and
trying to select first gear.
it was first getting out. I thought, well, that's simple. I mean, okay, that's not the most efficient way to drive a electric vehicle.
Yeah.
Obviously, at the moment, I'm in sort of normal drive mode. If we switch it to eco drive, you can feel it pull back a bit. It sort of retards the vehicle's acceleration.
It's all smoother, isn't it? It's more like driving my Volvo.
It's much more like driving your Volvo now.
Yeah.
We certainly can't pull away, but I'm at 71 miles of drive radius on it. So.
Yeah.
It's got regenerative braking, so as I'm braking, I'm putting a little bit of power back into the system.
Yeah.
And that's
Go
about
down
it
here,
for the
Nick.
technical. So take a left.
Here, yeah. So what were your first impressions when you first got in this?
Spacious, airy, very modern, a little bit more executive than I would think to buy. A lot of toys, a lot of bells, a lot of whistles, but that's what they're giving you on a demo car.
Yeah.
And that same sort of a little bit of anxiousness as it pulls away and you can't hear any sound. You know, the only sound you're getting is the transmission of. Is she just going to walk in front? She is.
Yes, she didn't hear us. Now, there's a perfect example.
There we
she
go.
did not hear us coming.
She can't actually hear my vehicle moving.
Yeah.
She can't hear the sound of an engine, so she's probably not aware to look out.
That is the thing about electrics, isn't it? They're so quiet.
So.
When we stopped at those lights, there was no sound whatsoever. Nothing ticking over.
There's no engine. There's no engine moving.
Yeah.
There's no moving parts going on. So you are just sat in a vehicle that's just waiting to move, and your engine isn't sort of idling over at that time. Yeah, we just don't want to have the risk of. It's that range anxiety thing. I've got 73 miles here, and I've still got to go back to Worthing.
Yeah.
And it's like you sort of you get a feeling for it. I didn't have this feeling in the Twizy.
So you're more anxious about range in this car than the Twizy?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's interesting because
Now, why is that?
whilst I was in London and therefore not really sort of doing motorway or dual carriageway driving, you felt like you weren't really going that far. Whereas when you're in a car like this, and this is a family car, this is, it's a 4-seater, it feels much more sort of like the sort of car you're going to get all the kids into and go downtown in. You felt a little bit more anxious about going on the carriageway and going a further distance with it and back. The charge time on it, I think, is the key here. With the Twizy, it just plugs straight into the mains, and you have a 2-hour charge time, and it's just going to work. With this, however, it's a longer charge time on it. Of the standard sort of, there's a standard plug it in, but you're going to have to wait a far longer time. I think if I was out with the Twizy, I would feel very comfortable about being able to plug in at a client site, have my meeting, and know that it's only charging in a couple of hours, so it's likely charging within an hour and a half. So I'm having my meeting and my car is charged and off I go again. So,
do both these cars just take a standard 3-pin 13-amp plug?
Yes, they can do.
Okay.
Though there is a fast charge feature which comes straight in, sort of like the same sort of, the same ring that you run your cooker on.
Yeah.
And you have a far stronger, stronger, that would be the wrong word, but a far more raw power supply that you can plug into it.
Yeah.
Rather than just coming in off of a 16-amp plug.
Just going to look at the controls here. See what's going on. So,
but it's got the cruise control, it's got the Bluetooth, it's got the ability to sort of connect your phone up to it.
Yeah.
It's got the trip meter. It's got a lot of the bells and whistles that you would expect in a sort of executive car with electronic toys.
Yeah.
So, go to our menu, go to map. Oh, hang on, where's this person and where are they coming through? They're behind us and they're coming through that way, that's fine. But one of the features they offer on this is the ability to say where are the nearby stations.
Okay.
So I can see where the nearby charging stations are, and I can see there's one in 400 yards, another one additionally. So
cool.
It'll actually direct me to the nearest charging stations.
Excellent.
So I can sort of plan ahead and think, oh, I'll stop there and charge.
Yeah.
Which is sort of difference on service station mentality, I guess. And I would say that primitive man spent a huge amount of time sort of foraging for foods and water and warmth and so forth. Modern man spends the most amount of his time foraging for electrical outlets. That's progress.
Yeah.
We've covered all the basics. Now we just need all our entertainment, all of our luxuries. We need to scavenge for electrical outlets.
So what information have we got here in the this bit of the car?
So they got this is nice, which is really going to be hard to see on here, but there's a feature called Car Wings. And Car Wings is like a social network for Renault Leaf drivers.
Okay.
And the more efficient you are, the more energy saving you are in your driving habits, the more points you score. Those scores are then put up on like a leaderboard, so you can then see other people's sort of records and so forth, so that you can measure yourself against other Leaf drivers as to how efficient you are in driving. It's a sort of a social network for energy efficiency.
Okay.
So it has a sort of WhisperNet sort of 3G, not 3G, yeah, it's effectively WhisperNet 3G service built in, which sort of ties the car up to get service information updated to it on a regular basis. Other than that, you have the power down in here, which indicates how efficient you're being with the power. So the more discs you light up, the least efficient you're being. As you brake, it will go to the left. That's it, gathering power again. So it's right in the middle at the moment. I'm not using up any power. And as I put my foot down, I'll use up a power. I'll use up a slot. I'll use up a slot.
Yeah.
So we're getting a.
Coming down to the seafront here.
Me trying to photobomb. Brakes work, by the way. Brakes work sufficiently well. I choked myself when I sort of came around the corner and found somebody immediately backing out towards me. Put my foot on the brakes. Yeah. And things come to an absolute stop. Yeah. But you're not, because there's no clutch mechanism in here. So there's no gearing mechanism, and there's no torque mechanism. There's no engine constantly fighting to push the wheels forward or to push against gears. So when you put your foot on the brakes, all the power's immediately taken off the wheels, and it's just the brakes that are applied. And that's happening a lot faster than you're used to with a conventional motor.
Well, you're used to putting your foot on the clutch and the brake, aren't you? Well, I am, Again, no noise.
Yeah, that's the sort of spooky part of it, really. There's none. I mean, people won't hear you. There's no revving the engine.
Yeah.
You know, you can't anticipate rev at a junction and sit here and go rev rev, because if you try revving, your car wants to move forward.
Yeah.
So there is a climate control, there is air conditioning, there is all the standard electric windows and you know, doohickeys and toys that you might expect.
Yeah.
But as with all of those things in an electric car, you are more aware of how they are contributing to the drain on your electrical resources.
Yeah.
Again, with the Twizy, there's none of that. It's so basic. It is basically the motor and a pedal.
Yeah.
So you don't feel like you might be using other systems that might be draining energy. And that's a change in how you feel to approaching the car.
Yeah. It's like, yeah. And it will cruise quite happily at 70?
Yeah, it's sat quite happily at 70. In fact, there's just cruise control on it, so you can just say stay at 70 and then just take your foot off the accelerator.
Yeah.
Leaving your foot on the brake. Yeah, actually, I'm sure they had, because everything will be recorded on what you do with this sort of car.
Yeah. It's got like a log.
So it tracks the log, it keeps what it's doing. It's, at the end of the day, it's its own black box.
Yeah.
I wonder what that'll mean for sort of insurance claims and so forth when you start having cars that are tracking your driving attitude prior to the crash.
Yeah. There'll be algorithms, won't there?
So
to work out your attitude, your driving attitude, of a heart monitor.
Well, there is essentially that's what this energy meter down here is doing. It's saying because this is taking an average over 5 miles and then looking at how you're driving and using that average and comparing it to the quality of the battery and saying this is now your distance that you can manage for your vehicle, which is what it's sort of doing. So this is this is Nissan Leaf. Inside it feels like any other automatic car that you're going to drive. Outside doesn't look any different, doesn't look surprising. There's no noise that you're experiencing, so now the noise that you have to fight against is everybody else's vehicle.
Yeah.
Now try to imagine this road with electric cars as a sound. You know, the sounds that we'll start hearing are just the tyres moving.
Yeah, tyre noise, yeah. But it was so interesting with that old lady. Perfect example of how quiet these vehicles are and what you have to watch out for.
On the nag.
Now we're coming up on a cyclist. Will this cyclist know we're coming up on them? Let's look very carefully.
Ask them?
Can you? Hello.
Hello.
Did you hear us coming? She didn't say anything. She probably thinks we're being sarcastic and... Right, go up the hill, that way.
This way?
That way.
This way, up the hill.
Which happens to be called left, but I can't think quick enough to know that. She's going to draw up to us now, that cyclist, and give us a bollocking, probably.
She's crossed in front of me. I was like, shit.
Oh, she's... Right, so we're going up Dyke Road, up the hill.
We're going up Dyke Road in an electric car.
Yeah. Oh, that's really powerful, Nick. Oh, acceleration. Oh.
So the fun bit is when you start going downhill.
Yeah.
You take your foot off.
Yeah.
The energy meter flips the other way.
Where's the energy meter, Nick?
It's right in here. That's right.
As we go down the hill. If this is in the way, let me know. I'll try not to get this camera in the way too much.
That's right. So the energy meter is, you can't quite see it, but there's a little dash here.
Yeah.
And it is there, and it's sort of just that bit dot there, which moves to the right or the left.
Okay.
And you get more of them.
Cool.
So let's have a look at our energy information.
Looking at energy information.
History. Energy used.
So we've recharged the battery by going down that hill, Nick?
Oh, it doesn't. Oh, it'd be great if it did, wouldn't it?
Amazing, wouldn't it?
Maybe just,
If you went down a really massive hill for hours and hours, would it recharge your battery?
Because then you might actually be into perpetual motion.
That was good. Did you see that? How long they were on green?
So it tells me here, if I put on climate control, I'll lose 18 miles of range.
Good grief.
For air conditioning. Whereas the Twizy, because its sides are open, and it's a two-seater, and the doors are just like wings, there's no enclosure, so there's no need for air conditioning. It is its own air conditioning as it drives along.
Yeah. If it's rainy, do you get wet?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, if it's raining heavily, if it's raining a little bit, you won't get wet because it's hitting the top and the sides.
Yeah.
But that's why you want to buy the gull wings and you want to buy it with the edges, so at least then you have some.
So you can buy doors?
You can buy doors, and you can buy a little sort of thing to keep your legs dry as well.
Which of course will add a bit of weight to the device. Very good. Oh, come on, Bennett! Show off.
There's a van behind me that can't quite work out why it keeps disappearing from me.
What has it got under the bonnet?
I tell you, if I could right now, yeah, I'd buy this car.
Yeah.
Yeah. This would be the perfect second car for the house. This would be the perfect car for, we do a day trip to Crawley, we do a day trip to Brighton.
Yeah.
This would be the car I would use. And I'd keep my other car for doing the sort of 400-mile journeys, the longer trips.
So this meter here, so every time that thing goes below zero, it means we're making energy.
Yeah.
That's nice.
It's recovering just a little bit.
Yeah. So I'm using barely any at the moment on the level.
Well, I've just got my foot off the accelerator now, and I just got it over the brake because we're going downhill.
Yeah.
You know, we're sat at 25 miles an hour for this road.
Yeah. Red light. Look at that regenerative.
See?
Yeah.
You can hear his car.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, see, that's the point. I can't rev my engine.
We'll just go forward if we do that.
Pardon?
How is it to drive?
It is nice to drive. It is very nippy. I've just hacked off a couple of
Good off the line, yeah, I bet. Amazing how things come on in 40 years, isn't it?
But it is a little bit, we've had two people in front of the car, we can't hear it.
That was cool. You make friends as well on the Nissan Leaf.
Twizy gets more conversations.
Does it?
Yeah.
I know if I owned this car, I'd be constantly looking at that. I'd probably have an accident because I was constantly looking at the. Oh, I'm saving energy.
Saving energy, not lives. Yeah, well done. Saving the environment by checking yourself out of the gene pool. Actually, you've already bred, so you're you know, you can check out the gene pool anytime you like now. I wonder if that parking space is still there.
Might be. Might be. It might not be. That's the wonderful thing about Egremont Place. You never know. We might just have to say a quick goodbye. It's a disabled, or you could just park at the bottom like everyone else does. Just momentarily while you drop me off.
Pop it in here.
Well, Nick, it's been a pleasure.
Just do a bit of this.
So that has been the Nissan Leaf, and we can see going backwards. Oh, look at that. That is so cool as we reverse. You can see who you're running over. I love it. So it comes off the curb.
Coming up the curb.
Mind the trees as well.
Yeah. There are trees, and there is.
Trees, yes. Well, I call them devil trees.
So there's that, and let's just do. Keeping it straight. And that should tell me that I'm now.
Actually, there might be room for you to. That's not the disabled up there, is it? Watch the tree though, yeah.
Yeah, there's the tree, which you kind of, and of course you can't get out if I sit here, can I?
No. Because on a bike.
Totally pointless that was.
High tech overcomes sensibility.
High tech, low clue.
Nick, thank you so much.
Cheers, pal. It's been that's been a bit of an adventure.
And I'll film you driving off as well. Catch you later.
Catch you later.
Not a sound.